Every beat is a battle cry. Every verse is a vision. Reggae music is the true weapon of a conscious warrior. That's a quote by yours truly. This quote addresses one of the main reasons I created Hippie Fari, the beautiful, life-changing message of reggae music. It was created for social change, and its message is as strong today as it was in the 60s when the first reggae records were released in Jamaica. So welcome to another episode of Hippie Fari Reggae Radio and Podcast, recorded live in the Omen Honey Reggae Radio and Media Studios in beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm your host, Scotty the High Strung Hippie, and Hippie Fari is a podcast where we discuss all things reggae, so if reggae music is your thing, you're in the right place. We're doing that same free t-shirt and sticker giveaway. Go to YouTube, follow us at Hippie Fari. Download any episode, send a screenshot to hippieFariReggae@gmail.com, and I'll pick a winner. So tonight we have a special guest in the studio with 2 full-length studio albums boasting some fire reggae tunes. One that I always tell him I love time and time again, and he laughs at me because I keep bringing it up. And his upcoming tour in the Virgin Islands starting May 8th. Our guest is non-stop all about the music. As well as being a personal friend of the show, we have seen his live professional performances many times. I've even had the pleasure of playing with his band on percussion and had the ultimate title of merch guy one night, which was awesome, man. I got a free t-shirt. I was so stoked. And he puts on one hell of a show when he's on stage, man. This dude lights a freaking guitar on fire, and that is absolutely no joke.
Thank you, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Savi Fernandez to the show. What is up, my brother?
What's going on, Scotty?
Not too much, man. Just want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to hop on the show.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thanks for the invitation. It really means a lot.
Absolutely, man. It was either that or I was going to corner you one day, in a venue. And
yeah, sorry, man. I know. Had a lot of things come up.
That's all good, man. And usually I'll hop right into the questions, but why don't you go ahead and tell me about this Virgin Islands tour, bro? I mean, that sounds absolutely fantastic. May, the weather's going to be beautiful. What's up with that, dude?
Yeah, man. So I'm super stoked. I've been playing in the Virgin Islands for the past 12, 15 years, something like that. I think it's more closer to 12. And I try to go there at least twice a year. And I don't know, I have a love for the islands. Like, people down there really gravitate towards it, and it's a lot different from playing here in the States. It's like it feels like you're in a different country over there.
Sure.
And you play one spot and the island's small. Everyone's like, oh snap, Savi's here, let's go follow him. And
that's awesome.
Just get a crowd of people going to each show. And yeah, I'm stoked. We're doing May 8th through the 14th, 2 dates in St. Thomas and the other dates in St. John. And one of my favorite spots to perform is Coral Bay. It's this little hippie town. Yeah, and I got a funny story for you later about that one.
Beautiful, man. That's awesome. So basically, what I'm hearing is the vibe over there is definitely a little bit different than it is over here. People are more into it. It's more like a family type thing.
Oh yeah, man. It's like people just wake up and they're ready to have a good time.
That's great.
Crack open a cold one and listen to some music and lay in the ocean.
That's such a beautiful thing, dude. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm so glad that you actually get the opportunity to be able to do that, man. And then what else is cool is that makes great content. So when you come back, I'll have you on again, and you can tell me about your tour over there, man. That'll be awesome.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And one of the places I've been wanting to play for a while got me booked there is called Sapphire Beach Bar. It's right on the ocean, and I'm really excited about that one because everybody on St. Thomas on the island, they show up on Sundays there, so super stoked about that one.
Right on, dude.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I'm definitely jealous. I was telling my wife earlier, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I just had the time off work and just popped up and was like, what's up, Savi?
Hey, man, the tickets are cheap right now. I'm trying to get all the homies to come right now.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, right on, bro. I'm so glad that you're able to experience that. That's really cool, man. Let's go ahead and hop into Savi Fernandez, bro. Let's get back some early beginnings.
All right.
What kind of drew you to reggae music? Was there like a defining moment or an artist that kind of made you say, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, man. So growing up, my father, he'd always on Sundays for breakfast, he'd always put on some music. He'd put on the Doors, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, stuff like that. And, one of the days he put on Bob Marley Legend, record,
Nice.
and I was just like, this is kind of like my vibe, and I kind of gravitated towards that. And in high school, I was in this ska core band with some friends in the garage, and
Beautiful.
we made ska music and reggae music and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of how it grew.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. I loved ska growing up. You ever heard of the Voodoo Glow Skulls?
Yes,
I
man.
loved them,
I
man.
saw them in high school every time they came into town, and it's
Yeah, they're
funny
great.
because my mom wouldn't really let me out of the house much because she was kind of strict, but which came to my advantage because I'd stay home and play guitar. But the one thing she let me do was go to concerts. So any
That's
concert
awesome.
that I wanted to go to, I'd go, and most of it was ska, and the Glow Schools were a really crazy fun time, man.
No, without a doubt, man. I still love them to this day, bro. But very cool, bro. So you for those people that haven't heard you live or that really dug into your music, your sound definitely blends reggae with the elements of rock and funk and definitely jazz. So how did those influences come into play in your music?
Well, I actually love and blending all styles of music. I like to call ourselves like reggae funk or funky reggae,
Sure.
soul. And so basically my style of playing is like it's soulful and bluesy. And I love just meshing that with the rootsy, flavorful sounds of the Caribbean, So I'll do a lick that's, like it could be like a tasty, jazzy kind of thing. And then, when it comes to turning up, I like more bluesy and stuff like that.
Yeah, you definitely do it well. That's what I had mentioned before. You definitely light that guitar on fire. It's so awesome to watch you
Thank you,
because
brother. Thank
your
you.
guitar tells a story, but your face does too. You get into it, man, and it's definitely so cool to see when you just rip into the solos and just crush it. It's absolutely awesome, bro.
Appreciate it, brother.
Um,
Appreciate it.
so speaking of that, which artists were they that influenced you? Other than Bob, um, which ones kind of like shaped
Honestly,
you?
I love the Peter Tosh live record. That one
Nice.
really did it for me. Like the guitar player on that record is just like ripping, like fire, smoke coming out of his guitar, and like that for me is like kind of the sound that I gravitate towards. Like that's kind of like where I'm at, and when I want to play live stuff like that.
So that's kind of how you developed it was from that record,
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. Actually, I heard the record after I developed my sound. I'm like, wow, that sounds a lot like what I do, and
right?
I was like, that's really dope. This is my speed right here.
That's awesome, man. Well, you definitely do it well, man. It's a lot of
Thank
fun
you,
to
brother.
see
Thank you.
and an absolute pleasure to listen to. So, this let's talk about the journey of the Savi Fernandez Band. How did the band come together? And was there like an initial vision behind it? Or, we just kind of like, I'm going to get some guys together, we're going to jam and see what happens?
Yeah, man, it's kind of funny. There was a lot of like shaping of the sound, a lot of shaping of like the bandmates. There was a lot of like, okay, this is the group for now. Let's see where it goes. And then other people, one guy would get married and have kids and can't play. And then there was a lot of swapping until there was a moment where I met Shad, my drummer. I met him
Yep.
at an open mic about I don't know, I want to say 11 years ago or something like that, and he was just crushing, like crushing. And I remember playing with him, and we were both looking at each other like, "Is this really happening? Is this really happening?" And also, the keys player, he had a good friend that played keys, and I used to have this home in Orlando with a basement in it. I think it was like the only house with a basement.
Yeah,
So
right.
I would invite musicians after, the open jams, and we would jam till like 5 in the morning. And I just remember like after like a couple songs back at my house, I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're my new drummer now. You're like,
Right.
and we're going, and like I had a tour coming up, like a couple months after I met him. I'm like, you're a part of it now, and he's like, okay,
That's awesome, man.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good. That's usually kind of the way it works. You know what I mean? When you know, you know.
right, right. And then he just had a lot of amazing players that he knew through church. They play, gospel music, and
Yeah, beautiful.
from playing gospel to reggae, it's like a really good like mix as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it definitely fits really well. But I say that about a lot of different genres of reggae. I feel like you can kind of blend anything with reggae. I mean, even
Right.
80s love ballads, you know what I mean? It fits
Yeah.
perfect, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so awesome. So, you were talking about, when the band started, how has your music evolved from your early days to now? Um,
Right.
as far as your songwriting and your music, like, how has it changed over time?
Oh, it's changed quite a bit.
Certainly.
When I was first starting, I was actually opening up for bands acoustically. I had a ska core band at first, and a buddy of mine, from school was like, "Hey, do you want to play guitar in a ska core band?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go do it!" And so we started playing in the garage, making noise, making trouble, doing what kids do, and from there, the band kind of broke up. We were called the Relics.
Oh, great name.
And we only played one show in some dude's backyard, and it was a party, and it was fun. But everybody else kind of had wanted to do other things, and I just grew like a huge love for it. I knew that was the moment. I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I continued my path towards that way, and so I would play like open mics. I would start writing music, and then from there, I started collecting more musicians. And then now it's history. Now I'm here.
That's awesome, man. Very cool, bro. I always love to hear the story behind it. Now,
Yeah.
your band's definitely known for high energy live shows, especially with you on the guitar, man. So, what's your mindset going into that live performance, and how do you like connect with the audience? Um,
So my mindset just like every show, I like to formulate a set where, like wherever we are, say we're playing like a more like a funky festival. So I'll throw in more funk songs. We're playing a reggae festival. We'll put in a little bit more reggae. But sometimes I like to do the opposite, where it's like
right?
it's an all reggae fest. So like, hey, let's do some more funk. Let's like mess with their minds. But uh, actually, to tell you the truth, it just goes with like day to day, kind of like how we're feeling. But at the end of the day, yeah, we like to turn it up, and all of my musicians are assassins on their instruments, so
100%, bro.
it's
Without a
always
doubt.
fun. Yeah, we're like looking back at each other like with our jaws open, and it's just like we all love each other, musically and personally. So it's a really good vibe on stage.
That's awesome, and like I had mentioned earlier, I've actually had the unique opportunity to play with you guys on stage live, percussion, and it is an awesome vibe, dude. That
Yes,
I think you looked at me one time and were like, "Bro, are you gonna calm down a little bit?" But yeah, it inspired me to go off. You know what I mean? It was so
yes,
fun.
yes. Gotta turn
Yeah,
up, man. Gotta turn up.
yeah,
We got one life on this earth. Come on, Scotty. Want to see
that's
you
it,
rip it?
man. Amen. You gotta live it, brother.
Right, right.
Um, so we were talking about your tour over in the islands,
Hmm.
and I know you've definitely been over there before and been on some other tours. Do you have any like wild or unforgettable things that have happened after on
Yes,
tour? I know
yes.
you had mentioned a hippie story you wanted to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that what I was talking about, that place in Coral Bay,
Yeah.
it was a place we played at called Skinny Legs, and just right off the bat when we walked in, there was a bunch of hippies walking up to us like, "Hey, do you want some shrooms? You guys, you guys want some chocolates?" We're like, "Okay, these guys are cool. They got a fun vibe. They're funny." And eventually, we ended up playing the show, and it started raining, and the hippies were just like dancing in the rain,
Of
but like
course.
our all of our instruments started getting wet, but like they were so into it. They were so like we didn't even really care, so we just kept playing it to the point where like, okay, we got to move our stuff before
Yeah,
it
no kidding.
gets.
Yeah.
And so we ended up setting up inside. Like there's a restaurant area. We moved all the tables and all the chairs, and the whole crowd just went crazy because it was like a smaller, like intimate show, and
Yes.
so they were ended up like jumping on the tables and chairs and dancing and hula hooping, and
That's so
it
awesome.
was it was just an incredible, unforgettable night. And to top it all off, at the end of the night, I think we all went skinny dipping in the ocean,
Nah.
and I didn't even know this. I didn't even know about bioluminescence, and the
Right.
whole ocean is just like glowy, and like we're just like, oh my god, is this really happening right now? Like it was just an incredible night for us. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Bioluminescence is absolutely wild, though, especially if you've never seen it before.
Yeah, I love it.
I think the first time I discovered that was fishing, reeling in my line. You know, like what the hell is that, dude? It's that, yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool though.
it is. It is.
Definitely need to see. Does that go on over in the where you're touring over in the Virgin Islands quite a bit?
Yeah. That's where it happens in Coral Bay. Yeah, it happens
cool,
quite a bit. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
happens here in Florida too.
It does a lot.
I haven't been able to do it here. I've only done it in crazy places like the Virgin Islands and in Puerto Rico. But yeah, I need to make some time for that.
Yeah, like a bioluminescence paddle, something like that. Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. So you've definitely played alongside some pretty big names in the reggae scene.
Yes.
I got the pleasure of watching you hop out on stage at Reggae Rise Up with Fortunate Youth. That was really neat.
Man.
I know that's a band you kind of collab with back and forth.
I really love those guys. They're like super down to earth and just empowering and positive,
100%. And it was really cool, the camera, because I obviously took some video and posted it, but then you had taken the video. And your shot was, from you running out on stage and seeing the crowd. I mean, the crowd's big, but that's a big-ass crowd, dude.
Yeah, man, I actually got footage from my glasses. I have Meta glasses with the cameras on them.
Oh, nice.
And the footage looks incredible. And I'm waiting for the time to post it. I think I might put it into a music video or something.
That's really cool, man.
We'll see, yeah.
Real quick, it's kind of off topic a little bit. What's that feeling like, man, when you walk out and see 6,000 people just staring at you screaming?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty funny because usually when I play with Fortunate Youth, they're like, "Hey, hop on guitar, do some leads," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." So that's what I was planning on doing. And then 5 minutes before I was supposed to get on, they're like, "No, you're doing vocals this time." And I'm like, "What? I don't even know this song. What am I supposed to do?" And so I luckily I had my AirPods in my pocket, so I'm jamming out to their other song while there's other songs playing, and I'm mouthing things, and people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know the song. I'm working it out. Leave me alone."
Right.
But yeah, and then working out, which actually funny story. I can freestyle and I'm good at freestyling, but I was kind of wanting to be more prepared. So I asked Kyle Smith. I was like, "What do you normally do?" And he's like, "Oh, I just take a song that I already know, one of my songs, one of my lyrics, and I put it over that." So I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome. Great. That's a great idea." So I looked through. I did "Smooth Movements," one of my tunes off of our second record.
Nice.
And I did it over that, and it worked out perfectly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've always wondered. I've played in front of some decent crowds, but never that before. So I was like, it's just got to be absolutely wild, man. Seeing that many people, but they're all amped up and ready to go. You know what I mean? So it's not like playing in a bar where half of them are down.
But back to your question. Well, the feeling, So I was like, I don't normally, I would say, I still get the butterflies from time to time, and a crowd like that, I definitely was feeling it. So I was like, it was definitely a really good natural high, walking out there, crushing it, seeing everybody. I was getting the crowd going, singing yo yo yo. They're like yo yo yo, So the whole crowd was singing back, and we've done festivals in the past where that happened, but not at Reggae Rise Up. So it was definitely a good experience.
That's awesome.
And I was still kind of a little high from it. It's always a good feeling doing that.
I was too. We and Kira were sitting there, and I'm like, "Holy shit, it's Savi!" I saw you at the last Fortune You show come out, but that was at a much smaller venue. So yeah, it was definitely really cool, man. It's definitely awesome, man. I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And it gives you something cool to talk about. So
yeah.
Now let's kind of move on to your music is amazing, and musically, it definitely speaks to people. But I know that your music also carries a message. Now, reggae definitely has deep roots in social consciousness and spirituality.
Yes, it's very important to me.
What message? Absolutely. What message do you kind of hope to convey through your music specifically?
Well, specifically, honestly, I like to convey the message to love yourself and to love one another. I think it's just very important in today's age where it's very easy to get lost in the propaganda of of kind of everyday social media and like news and how everything's kind of like, embracing fear. I like to embrace love. So
Amen.
I also like to talk about, like just real issues on war and love and, like things behind the scenes sort of thing. Like I don't like to just talk about, smoking bud and drinking a beer.
Right, right.
I'd rather talk about real things that people can connect with.
Amen.
I've had actually incredible experiences from doing that. Actually, I also, promised God when I started music that I would only do positive music. So that's really what I only do. And there's been times where people came up to me and said, "Hey, thank you for doing what you do. You saved my life. I was in a really low part of my life, and I'm here because of you." And that kind of stuff shakes me up. That stuff makes me want to tear up and just hug the person right away.
Well, next time I see you, give me a hug because that's something you are. I can be in a just feeling kind of crummy. That track can come on and it just it's not a fist bump song, but when it comes in and that roots, I think it's just you just want to throw your hands up like it's so awesome, dude. It's absolutely fantastic.
I really appreciate you loving that too, man. I do,
man.
Like every time you mention that, it's like, damn, I need to bring that one back. I need to bring that one back. Like that one as that one's a force of nature. Yeah.
It's beautiful, and the lyrics definitely follow. Like you said, they're very positive, and I like that you touched on. You promised God that you would only do positive music. There is too much negativity out there, man. There's enough of it.
There's enough. I don't need to add to the trash.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful, man. Definitely appreciate that. Now, reggae definitely has a Rastafarian influence. Has Rastafari influenced your personal philosophy or approach to life or your music at all?
I would say musically, yes. I really, really love their philosophy on just everyday life and, the way to live. But personally, I wouldn't say that. I'm more of a non-denominational Christian.
Okay.
I have no labels, but I believe in God, and I like to spread goodness. Spread joy through the music. I guess that's where I was put down on earth for. Spread the joy.
Amen. It's a beautiful thing. Well, you're definitely on the right podcast. We have no qualms about telling everybody we are very, very spiritually driven.
Yes.
We here at Hippie Fari Reggae Radio and podcast, we love God.
Hell yeah.
So and we are along the same lines as you. There's so much negativity out there. And I haven't met an angel yet. Nobody's perfect, but
right.
As long as
we're all
we're
human.
trying,
Yeah, we're all human, man. We're not perfect,
Amen.
But as long as we can try to do our best to pick up your fellow neighbor up when he's down.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about helping people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what life's all about. You do it through music, which is a beautiful thing, man. That's so awesome, dude. So reggae has always been a voice for the people. I mean, it was started for that reason in the 60s.
Right.
Right. How do you see reggae evolving as a movement in today's world?
Reggae evolving into a movement. Well, I think what I love about reggae the most is like it's against, it's like against the grain. Everybody's moving this way, but reggae is like, no, you need to come this way.
Yep.
Like politically, socially, and musically. It's really telling you the truth that most people don't want to hear today because it bothers them. They just want to no, I just want to be on my phone and listen to booties and bitches. It's like, no, man, you gotta like wake up and really see, find your worth in this earth.
Amen. 100%. Well, we actually had him on the show. It was episode 4. Tony Brand from Cultivated Mind. He made a great quote when he was on the show. He said that reggae music is the last bastion of the people's army, meaning that the people still have a voice. You know what I mean? But reggae is one of our last weapons because they are trying to take everything from us.
Yeah, for sure.
Taking away our rights. making healthy food more expensive and crappy food cheaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
it
almost
doesn't
like they're
make
trying to intentionally kill us. You
it
know?
doesn't make sense, man. I say that all the time. Is like, why is it that the processed foods that have more chemicals in it, cost less than the stuff that has less chemicals in it?
Right. And
Shouldn't
organic
more
farming, they use less shit to farm, but they
right?
charge more for it. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't make sense to me, man. It doesn't
No.
make sense. Yeah.
But then when you start to get into it, you realize kind of what's going on. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sick. But
Yeah, yeah. I feel like the more you go down that rabbit hole, the more like you're like, oh my God, is this
right.
really what mankind's doing to each other? And he's
Yep.
totally right. I like that quote. It's like it really
Mhm.
is one of our last weapons, and
Yep.
we gotta hold on to it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if anything, you take your hand off your weapon, someone will take it from you.
Very
And
true.
music
Very
can be
true.
taken from us because our thoughts have been held prisoner. Natalie Rise, her new album that just came out, Liberate. She
Hmm.
talks about that, but she's talking about liberation starts with your thoughts, and we don't even realize it from a young age. They're trying to kidnap our thoughts. You know what I mean? So our thought process is even being taken.
That's
So
super deep. Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing about
It's
reggae,
called
though, is
yeah,
that
it's
we
called
can.
mental slavery.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it, man. And it definitely exists.
It sure
But
does. Sure does.
that's a beautiful part about this music, man. It's that one last weapon that we have to be able to fight it, though.
Yeah.
Um,
I really love that.
so I know that we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Like you've seen firsthand how music can heal and uplift people. Do you have any stories, like a specific story, where your music had a profound effect on someone? I know you said that people, like, thank you, man. You kind of saved my life. But
Yeah,
is
yeah.
there anything? Okay,
Though I have
awesome.
another story. As it's funny, I was actually just playing like a regular solo gig at one of these like corporate restaurants, and I had like a really rough day. It was like a long set, and I was just kind of like going through the motions, and I'm like, okay. And this girl came up to me, and she's like, "Oh, I really like your music, like." And like she's like, "Can you keep playing more of like that positive stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course. Let's go." And then at the end of the night, she's like, "Listen, like, I have a tumor, I have brain cancer, and my I've been in pain all day, but from the moment you started playing to the moment you stopped, I didn't feel any pain,
Oh
and
wow.
that got me very emotional, and yeah, immediately had to hug her."
Yeah, that's amazing, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
And I would always say, if that was the only person that ever told you that, your job is done.
right,
I
right,
mean, like,
right.
wow, like you
I
affect one
know.
person like that. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, man. I have to say that I've been very blessed, with my experiences with what I do and how it reacts with people.
it's fantastic, dude. Awesome to hear, bro. Um, so obviously your songs impact people. Let's kind of get down to the reason why. Maybe like your writing process. Do you have a particular method when it comes to songwriting, or does inspiration just like hit you at random moments? You're driving down the street and you're like, boom, I got it.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. Like there's random moments where like I'll say something out loud, or I'll even say something funny, and then like, oh, that's a good idea for a song. Maybe write it down. But I would say also I like to sit down and just think of things, and what I'll do is I'll come up with like a rhythm on the guitar, come up with a melody, and then just start humming the melody, and then like something will come to me, and then, oh, that's a cool tune, and then just go from there, sort of thing. But
All right,
I would say the best songs come randomly. The
sure.
best songs just kind of just hit me.
That's awesome, dude. So what's you have like one or two particular ones that they're really like personal to you? That
Personal.
every time you play them, that kind of strike a chord.
I would say probably From My Heart. From My
Okay.
Heart is kind of a tune like that. 1 Minute is a good tune that I wrote when I was in Greece. We were watching the sunrise, and that was more of like a happy, positive tune, just like, enjoy what you have, sort of thing. But yeah, I'll never forget writing that song. While we partied all night with the guitar, and some friends had bongos, and we're on this like black sand beach, and that one kind of stuck with me too. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. That's awesome, dude. Black sand, I've never experienced that before. I can imagine it's definitely pretty cool though.
Yeah.
So that some artists definitely thrive in the studio, and others, which I've actually seen you, prefer that energy of live performances. Do you have a preference? Like, do you like to jam it out in the studio, or do you like the live better, or is it kind of a mix of both?
I would definitely say I like the live performance a lot more than studio. I do enjoy being in the studio as well. I like capturing my thoughts in a like a more direct way. Like just getting it down on paper. But like nothing beats being there live with the crowd and the energy. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I felt it when you were on stage. Like I said, the last time I saw you come out there with that giant crowd, so I can just imagine.
Oh yeah,
what you're feeling.
I mean, you definitely. It's like you can totally feed off that energy when people are just, and it's funny because it doesn't even matter if it's thousands of people or if it's like 10 people.
Sure.
But if you got all the 10 people moving and they're screaming and they're dancing, it feels just as good,
Like those hippies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. 100%, man. That's so awesome, bro. Yeah, it definitely doesn't take thousands. You know what I mean? It only takes two to make a church. So, I mean, it
Right.
doesn't take that many, to bring that hardcore energy, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
So, speaking of that, do you have any unreleased stuff or upcoming projects that you're kind of stoked about?
Yes, man. I actually have quite a few things. It's funny. I had recorded in New Orleans with some of the guys from Lettuce. I got a really cool like 7-song EP, and we knocked it out in like 3 days. And I just been sitting on it for so long. I need to get back to that and like master it and all that sort of thing. But I just been writing a lot more newer stuff since then. It's been a long time since that.
Wait, so you did a collab with Lettuce?
Yeah. I got
Wow, man.
yeah, man. I got Benny, the trumpet player, on there. I got Nigel Hall on some bass and some keys, and then Russell Baptiste on drums. He used to play for the Funky Meters, and he actually passed away a couple of years ago, which is sad. But it would be kind of cool to be like, hey, man, I got some new music from Russell. He's on the drums, so that's just something that I need to like work on. Hopefully releasing like end of this year or next year. But right now I kind of like been working on a lot of new thoughts and ideas. And so I've been sitting here in my home studio, just kind of putting them down and getting ready for hopefully some new releases like end of the year.
That's beautiful, man. Are you going to do singles, or you think you're just going to pop out an album, or?
I'm contemplating that still, but I believe that what I want to do is maybe release 2 singles from the record and then release the record, something like that.
Yeah. Right on, man. Kind of give people a little teaser and then just go for it.
Yeah.
Nice, man. That's awesome. Well, I definitely got first dibs on a sneak peek, man. I'm kind of excited about it.
Got you, brother. Got you.
It's so awesome, man. So, you've been around, from your ska-core days, to being a kid to growing up to where you are now. What's your advice to some young musicians, man? What's the best piece of advice that you'd give to any up-and-comers, especially the reggae musicians, kind of trying to make their mark in the scene?
Well, I don't want to sound cliche, but I think it holds true to a lot of things. If you fall off your horse, get back on the saddle, sort of thing. Because this industry is very difficult, and there's times where like it feels like you're going nowhere. But if you just keep it up and keep going and keep growing and keep spreading that message, you'll eventually get to a point where you'll be happy with yourself and making others happy.
That's awesome, man. And you just mentioned being happy with yourself, and before you had said, a lot of your music is about loving yourself and loving others.
It's important.
It is.
I think it's important to be cool with yourself. Otherwise, who else can be cool with you?
Amen. Yeah, that's something a lot of people struggle with. I definitely struggle with it too.
Yeah, man, for sure.
But
exactly.
it's nice to have lyrics and stuff, music out there you can actually listen to kind of, encourage you to do just that, because we're all worthy of love, you know what I mean? 100%, whether it be from somebody else or directly from ourselves. So
yeah, it's hard for me too sometimes, man, like going through the struggle and the bustle of life.
Yep, 100%, man. But that's a beautiful thing. We have this awesome music to fall back on with a positive, conscious message to get us through today. So it's a beautiful thing, dude.
Yes, sir.
So let's knock out some fun questions real quick. What's a dream collaboration of yours, man? Any artist alive or who has passed on? What's a dream collab and why?
Okay, cool. I didn't see before. I thought you were gonna say someone who's living now. If it was living, if it was living, definitely Stevie Wonder because he's
dude, you're the third person to say that.
He's just the best musician of all time. Yeah. If it was dead, definitely Jimi Hendrix because
right on.
He's just like my inspiration on the guitar and the best person to do it. I feel like
everybody's ripping on Stevie Wonder. Zach from ZC Keeley said Stevie Wonder as well, so that's really cool, man.
Yeah, man. With all these greats passing away, we need to bubble wrap him, man.
Yeah, right.
We got to make sure he stays around a little longer, especially because I haven't seen him live yet. I need to go catch a live show. It's funny. I have this kind of a funny joke where, if I was a multi-millionaire and I can get any musicians to do an album with, I would love to do just a hilarious album where I get Santana, who usually plays guitar, but get him on the djembe,
Right.
Get Les Claypool on the flute, Trey Anastasio on the triangle,
Nice.
Damian Marley, playing the whistle, and just the most random instruments, but the best musicians in the world doing an instrument that they don't normally play. But it's funny, if you were to get Stevie Wonder, he plays every instrument. So you couldn't stump him,
Well, that was kind of cool that you mentioned Trey Anastasio and Les Claypool. So you've obviously heard of Oysterhead.
Yes, man. I saw them at Bonnaroo.
From the Police. Yeah, that's. I mean, talk about three. Stuart Copeland from the Police. Les Claypool. That's amazing, man. Wow.
That was probably one of the most epic shows. I saw them in 2007 at Bonnaroo, and the Police were playing, and Oysterhead was also playing on the. I think. I don't know if it was the same day or not, but it was the same festival, and it just blew my mind, man. It just really blew
that's
my
awesome.
mind. Trey Anastasio had this guitar with antlers going out of it, and I remember he would just twist the antler, and it would bend the sound, and I'm like,
that's awesome.
I'm am I tripping or is this real right now?
That's great. Yeah, I grew up loving his guitar. Fish was one of my favorite bands as a kid.
Oh yeah, man.
You Enjoy Myself, unbelievable music, man.
Really good stuff. And honestly, when you had that question about studio or live, Fish is definitely a live show for me.
Sure.
It's pretty decent listening to their recorded albums, but watching them live is just a whole other experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my favorite albums too from bands like Fish, for example, Live Without a Net. It's just when they go into the jam, especially the jam bands, live is so much better than the studio.
Oh yeah.
String Cheese, when they do the live, it's just it takes it to a whole new level, man. It's so great.
Right.
But I'm a huge Dead fan too, so obviously you can see where
nice.
Kind of
The older I get, the more I love the Dead, man. I feel like it's an acquired taste. I didn't get it when I was younger, but
sure.
In my older years, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand.
Amen.
Now. I totally love it too, man. It's such good music.
Yeah, I've kind of grown into. I mean, I loved it, but like you said, yes, I'm progressively liking it and appreciating it a lot more.
Right, that was a term. You hit it right on the nail right there.
Absolutely, man. So, Survivor style, you're stuck on a desert island and can only bring 3 albums. What would they be?
Right. So I know one for sure would be "Dark Side of the Moon" by Pink Floyd.
All right,
because you can just play that from start to finish, and it's just a perfect album in my eyes and my ears. I don't know if I can list 3, but the second one would be any Stevie Wonder record, really.
Right.
I guess for a third one, I would say Mac Miller. I really enjoy Mac Miller. Probably the swimming record. Yeah.
It's awesome, man. You ever heard of the Dead Milkmen before?
I have not. No.
They were like a comedy core punk band, dude. They were like skaters. Everybody listened to it, but every song is completely goofy. It's absolute insanity. It's the funniest stuff in the world, man. I grew up listening to them, so I think I would definitely bring a Dead Milkman album.
Right on, right on.
But it's on a desert island, so I don't know where I'd get the record player, but
Right. You got to get like a solar energy one.
right. Drinking coconut juice, listening to records on a deserted island. I love it, man.
Right.
So, where do you see yourself where do you see yourself and your music? Give me like the 5-year plan.
I would say all right, so this was kind of a little bit more difficult. I guess I kind of go with the flow with the way I live my life.
Right.
But I'm already content with the way I live my life. I make money playing music. It's my full-time job.
Yep.
But lately, life has its ups and downs. Lately, I've been going towards doing it big again, doing it bigger. You know what I mean? Like, I already do my tours. I play the Virgin Islands. I've opened up for Ziggy Marley. I've done quite a few things. I can honestly say I can die happy at any time. But at the moment, I've been growing a lot more introspectively, and I've been writing a lot of new music, and I got the bug again. So the next 5 years, I see myself, extensively touring again and putting out a bunch of new records.
That's fantastic, bro. If you ever need a percussionist, man, just hit me up.
That's it, bro.
So, just throw a couple words for the listeners right now. What message would you like to leave with the listeners of Hippie Fari Reggae Radio and podcast? Straight from Savi Fernandez.
I would say simply try to love one another more.
Amen.
If you're somebody that you think you have some negativity towards, just, brush it off and just to love more. I think that's the answer to most of our problems today. If we're willing to, try to understand each other and let go of all of the resentment, I think we can move past all that and just love each other.
That's beautiful, man. I definitely agree with you 100%. Holding on to the resentments is huge, and love other people. You don't know what somebody's going through, man.
Yeah,
exactly. One, or there's no telling. So if someone's in a bad mood, don't take it personal. Don't hold it against them, man.
Right. And treat your waiters and servers well.
And yes, tip your bartender big time.
Tip your bartender.
Yes, 100%, man. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show, man. That's awesome. Taking time out of your night. I was able to finally nail you down and get you on. So
yeah, man.
Definitely.
Sorry, I apologize about that one.
No. It's all good. I wanted to do it before your tour. So we could talk about it. And
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. And I'm definitely going to be hounding you when you get back to kind of tell me a little bit about that. I want to see some of those pics and videos and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to come back again whenever my new music comes out as well.
100%, dude. Yes, we will definitely showcase it here. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, speaking of new music and old music, make sure you follow Savi Fernandez Band on Apple Music, Google Play, all that kind of stuff. Yes.
Do you have a Savi Fernandez website, or are you just on the social medias?
Mostly social media.
To, buy your merch?
Yeah, we're actually working on a new website right now as we speak.
Perfect.
So it should be launching hopefully, I would say next week. But for now, if you would like to get merch, you can just message us directly through our socials or email and stuff like that.
Awesome, bro. Well, thank you so much, man. Definitely appreciate it. Looking forward to the next time I get to hop on stage and jam with you, or work your merch booth. Either one, I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. I really love you guys. You guys are like the best people at my shows. You guys are just like a big smile and willing to help, and I really appreciate that.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, we do it out of love, man. It's so much fun. We definitely appreciate what you do, brother. So there's strength in unity. Build your community. So follow me on Instagram at Hippie Fari. Follow me on TikTok at Hippie Fari. Shoot me an email, hippieFariReggae@gmail.com, and my website is hippiefari.podbean.com. This is Scotty, the high-strung hippie, reminding you to speak your mind before somebody else does it for you. Do something nice for somebody today. Grab flowers for your partner, smoke out a stranger, slip the homeless man a buck. But whatever you do, do it from the heart, because all good things start with the heart. Peace, love, and Rasta rhythms are all a part of that reggae revolution. One love, fam.
Love it. Love it.